The Las Vegas Raiders now officially have their offensive coordinator. Thank God it's not Cliff Kingsbury. All they got to do now is go get that quarterback. I got all excited when Jaden Daniels went to the season finale to support head coach Antonio Pierce because I thought that meant he was coming. Others got excited when they thought Cliff Kingsbury was coming because they thought Caleb Williams was coming with them. I still love Daniels, but I'm not too sure it's possible to get one of those guys or Drake May. I don't think they have to get one of those guys though. It's funny how the media hyped this quarterback class up for 2 years and now all of a sudden you have to have one of 3 guys in the draft. I'm not buying that. The Raiders can trade up to a lower spot or get the quarterback they need at number 13 overall. In no particular order here, I'm going to start with Washington quarterback Michael Penix. He's the best thrower of the football in this quarterback class. He can spin it. He has a hose for an arm and can put the ball wherever he wants. He has bullseye accuracy. He really wasn't known for his ability to run around and make off-script plays at first, but he showed it in the college playoffs against Texas, and the media moved him way up on their draft boards. There was even talk about him being up there with the big 3. Then he would unfortunately have to face Michigan's defense, and it wasn't pretty, so the perception is he dropped way back down. Do you think that should happen over one game? They're not holding the Notre Dame game against Williams. They're not holding the Clemson game against Drake May. They're not holding the Alabama game against Jaden Daniels either. Penix threw for 4,600 yards plus in back-to-back seasons. Patrick Mahomes is the last one before Penix to do that. To go with that arm talent, Penix showed that at the end of the season he has escapability, so he should be rated higher. My biggest and only concern about him is injuries. Bo Nix is another guy they have up one day and down the next. The draft media has him above Penix despite Penix beating him twice with an evenly matched team. It's kind of funny the way the media did it too. In the beginning, they had him above Penix. Then after Penix beat him, they dropped him below him. By the time they played again, he was back above Penix, but then they had to drop him below Penix after he beat him again. Somehow, they snuck him back above Penix again. He's a distant number 4 quarterback on their boards. He doesn't have the arm talent the other guys have, but he has way more than enough. He's a good athlete you have to respect as a runner too, and I'll tell you what, I understand why he transferred to Oregon. His best year at Auburn is his freshman year with 2,542 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. In his 2 years at Oregon, he passed for 3,593 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions in his first year, and 4,508 yards, 45 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions in his last year. My concern about him is all the one-read and no-read throws. They're sleeping on J.J. McCarthy. Everything about him is underrated. McCarthy has crazy arm talent. According to Michigan, he can throw a football 80 yards. It shows in his velocity, and he can squeeze the ball into tight windows too. His athleticism is underrated too. He reportedly ran a 4.40 when timed by Michigan. I obviously don't know how close the guys at Michigan that tied him are to combine and pro day timers, but he is fast. I've seen him run away from guys. Anything under 4.7 is awesome for a quarterback anyway. The problem is McCarthy hasn't put up the big numbers you expect a top quarterback in the draft to put up. That's not his fault though. I've said throughout this past season that no one can stop McCarthy like former Michigan head coach turned Los Angeles Rams head coach Jim Harbaugh can. McCarthy's never reached the 3,000 yard or 30 touchdown mark. He didn't do a lot of running either. Harbaugh had 2 running backs at Michigan with McCarthy and he used them. The concern with McCarthy is he hasn't proven that he can carry the load. Any quarterback in college or the NFL can pick a defense apart when they don't have any pressure on them, so we have to look at what they do under that heat. We also have to look at what they do when throwing deep because you only get receivers open down the field so often. You got to take advantage. Let's see where my prospects are with the top 3 prospects in those departments, starting with how they do under pressure. Penix was tops in college football and this class in big-time throws under pressure with 15. Williams is second with 10, and McCarthy is third with 9. McCarthy has a lot less throws, too. Nix is first in his class in passer rating under pressure at 131.4. Daniels is second at 123.5, and McCarthy is third at 111.8. In D-ball passer rating is Daniels at 146.8. McCarthy is second at 130, and Williams is third at 124.1. In adjusted accuracy percentage on D-balls is Daniels again at 69.1%. McCarthy is second at 58.7%, and Nicks is third at 56.9%. Notice McCarthy is top 3 in every category. Alright, we know Kingsbury went to the Washington Commanders for a reason. I thought he and Kingsbury were coming to the Raiders for a minute, but Washington is their spot. My real hope all along has been the Raiders trading up for Daniels, but if that doesn't happen, I won't cry, I promise. I know the Raiders need a quarterback that can keep up with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, but I don't think the big three on the board are the only ones that will ever be able to do so. Nicks, Penix, and McCarthy all have the upside to be great, so if the Raiders can't get Daniels, it's not over. They'll still be able to make some noise in the AFC West. Thank you for watching. See you next time.